There was a grown man crying in my theater by the end of Inside Out 2, so I think it's safe to say that Pixar is back. And that grown man crying, may or may not be me. If you couldn't already tell, I just got back from watching Pixar's latest film, Inside Out 2, and I want to give you my honest, spoiler-free thoughts of the movie because there's a lot to talk about. Going into Inside Out 2, I gotta be honest, I was a little cautiously optimistic just given the state that Pixar is in, and it's really no fault to the studio at all. A lot of the blame should be put on former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Bob Chapek, for disrespecting one of their better studios and putting all their films out on Disney Plus instead of in a theater where they belong. But also the fact that this was a sequel to a beloved original film, which I gotta be honest, have been hit or miss for me with like Incredibles 2, Finding Dory, but then you also got bangers like Toy Story 3. Well, I'm happy to report that Inside Out 2, yeah, this feels like a classic Pixar film. It's been 9 years since the first film, but it's only been a few years for Riley, and she's hitting that very crucial stage where she's going through puberty, she's becoming a teenager, and with big changes come new emotions. But what I love most about Inside Out 2 is it doesn't feel like a forced sequel like, in my opinion, Toy Story 4. It just feels like a natural progression of the story from the first film. Like I mentioned before, Riley's got a whole new set of emotions in this one. I really love each emotion, but in my personal opinion, anxiety, played by Maya Hawke, is the standout. I also really love envy and embarrassment, and they introduced really cool concepts within the body that I thought was really cool. Like there's this whole thing called the belief system in there that, without going into spoilers, I thought was an excellent touch. And sure, some of my biggest criticisms and nitpicks with this movie is the fact that it's very derivative of the first film. Like the story is essentially beat for beat like the first movie. You get new emotions, they kind of tackle with each other and fight, and then go on an adventure inside the body. But I feel like that's kind of the point of Inside Out movies, is tackling these new emotions of what comes with life's biggest changes. And the biggest compliment I can give Inside Out 2 is that it's damn relatable. Like all of the great and special Pixar movies are. Everyone in that movie theater could relate to this film, whether it be me, a grown-ass man, or a child in the crowd. And while it does tackle very tough issues that most of us deal with on a day-to-day basis, it never feels too heavy-handed or dark, which I think is a good thing since, you know, this is a children's film. I mean, there was just so many moments when I was like, that's literally me. But to start wrapping things up, Inside Out 2 is a return to prime Pixar. I love the difference in animation we get in this movie. I mean, obviously it's Pixar, they're gonna give us great animation, but I love how they blended different styles of animation in this movie. Plus, it's got its usual jokes, charisma, charm, and it's not afraid to hit you with that uppercut of emotions. There are 2 post-credit scenes, so make sure you stay for those. And all in all, I ended up giving Inside Out 2 3.5 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd. By the way, follow me there for more in-depth reviews. But I'm curious what you think. Are you gonna be checking out Inside Out 2 this weekend? Drop a comment down below, and as always, like and follow for more.